When it comes to photography, our motto is simple: less gear, more freedom. Today, I want to talk about how this setup has become my go-to for everyday shooting, whether it's travel, adventure, or just family portraits when we're out and about. This is the Sony A7CR paired with the Viltrox 28mm f4.5 lens. It's tiny, it's lightweight, and it's perfect for everyday carry and all the things that you might want to photograph, but you might not want to carry a big camera setup with you. My name is Mark Bergering. I've been a professional photographer for over 15 years, and my goal with this channel is to help you make smarter gear buying decisions and learn and grow your photography skills. So subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to head down to the links in the description for anything I talk about in this video today. Now, you might be asking why I'm using this particular setup. So on our recent trip, which I'll show some sample photos from this setup during this video, we went down to the Caribbean, and I was looking for something super lightweight, super compact that I could bring with me. A pancake lens, but I wanted a full frame camera, and this turned out to be quite the perfect combination for me. It's compact, it sits on my back when I can put it out of the way and just let it be with me wherever I go. And as soon as I want to take a photo, there it is, ready to go. And I just found that it's unencumbered and it comes with me everywhere without hesitation, which is exactly what you want in a travel camera. So what I noticed specifically about this camera is that it's kind of like well, this is a stretch, but I'm equating it to the Leica Q3. It's a super compact, full frame, and this has 61 megapixels of resolution on the Sony A7CR, and paired with a 28mm lens in a compact setup. Now, of course, fans of Leica will probably call me out in the comments, but I don't really care. I wanted something with a fixed prime lens that was compact, and I thought this setup fit perfectly. You know, in real life, I drive a truck. I do not drive a fancy car of any sort. Given the choice, I buy a truck because it's utilitarian and practical. Maybe someday I'll drive a Porsche, but I'm too practical for that. I like to have the capability of all the features that a truck offers, and kind of the same philosophy applies to photography gear. I want interchangeable lenses. I want full resolution and lots of capability, and I don't want to pay exorbitant prices for just a brand, in my opinion, that while it does have exceptional, following and user interface design, I think that this is a much more practical setup than the Leica, and it gives you similar performance. It's got a 28mm lens, it's got full frame, it's just really slim and sleek and easy to use for travelers. Now, the image quality out of this sensor is awesome. It's the same one as in the A7R5, which is one of Sony's top performing cameras. And this little body packs that same sensor, and they still managed to fit 7 stops of IBIS in there, along with great autofocus. It's got excellent high ISO performance and a lot of really good qualities, even though the body has been slimmed down. I found that it's really easy to carry without having that fatigue of bringing a camera with you that's heavy and slows you down. Now, in particular, this little Viltrox lens I've got here is kind of funky. It's really cheap, and that's probably the limiting factor on this setup for sure. But I loved how slim it was, so I was willing to make some sacrifices in terms of image quality. 28mm is really versatile, and that's why Leica has incorporated 28mm fixed lenses into a lot of their classic, iconic cameras. Now, I'm not saying this is by any means close to what you would get in a Leica level glass, but it does have an ultra compact, slim profile. It's basically the same size as a lens cap and body cap combined. So if that gives you an idea of what you're getting on the front of this camera. Now, I thought I would share a couple alternatives if you wanted to upgrade from this lens and still retain this ultra compact setup. You could go with the Sony 28mm f2 lens, and that's gonna have just a slightly larger profile. It's a great lens. It's an older lens from Sony, but it still has decent image quality, especially sharpness in the center of the frame. The corners can get a little less sharp, but it's definitely a step up in quality from this without much size increase. I'll link to a video review I did of that lens here. Another option would be the Sony 35mm f2.8. And that lens, again, slightly larger profile on the front, but it's still ultralight and will maintain that compact setup that you're going for in a everyday camera. And lastly, another option would be the Sony 24mm G lens. Now that lens definitely has a bigger profile, but it's a G lens. It's got more quality, a little bit wider, so some people might like that perspective, especially if you like to shoot landscapes or bigger scenes. That would be another alternative, but definitely a step up in price. Now, let's talk about some reasons this setup worked for me. Because this body only weighs 500 grams and the lens is only 60 grams, it's ultralight. I know I've said that a bunch in this video, but I really can't express how much freedom it gives you to have a really sleek, lightweight setup. It just causes you to not hesitate. I do recommend an adjustable camera strap. I really like this one from Peak Design because it allows you to be in two different modes. You can be in a, give you more freedom and length, or if you're moving around a lot, you can cinch it up nice and tight. And if you throw it over your shoulder, it'll be more secure, and it almost disappears on the back here. You don't even notice it. And then when you're ready to shoot, slide it around, bring it up. The fun little lens cap on this 28mm is kind of cool too. I like how it just has a tactile component to it, which is fun. And then if you're in a more casual mode where you're taking more pictures, you can have it around your neck. It's not as secure, it's gonna flop around a little bit more, but it gives you that flexibility. And then when I'm really traveling light, I'll pop this strap off and go without a strap. And this little setup here, it actually even fits in my running belt, which is cool because then I can take this with me on adventures and have a super powerful package in this little unit that doesn't bounce around with the nice running belt that I have. Now, if you've tried the Sony A7C when it was first released back in 2020, I believe it was, you would have noticed that it didn't have 3 dials. And Sony has corrected that. They've got a front dial here, a back dial, and a dial on the back here. And that gives you full control over your exposure settings in 3 distinct dials. And that's a key missing element that they have included in the A7C2 and the A7CR. So I appreciate them taking that consideration and allowing us to have full controls, because if you're gonna have a really powerful camera, you need to have full controls in order to make it work for you. The only thing it's missing is the little joystick on the back, but I can live with that because it's got this control wheel and you can do some of the similar functions with that. Now, the thing I noticed with this camera is that when you actually have a small compact setup, you just take it everywhere. When you have heavy gear, it stays in the camera bag and the camera bag gets left behind. But when you're traveling light and you don't hesitate to bring it, it actually gives you the opportunity to get more images. So with that said, you might choose some sacrifices to make. In this case, it's the fixed f4.5 aperture on this thing, and maybe a little bit of quality in this tiny package. But the reality is, if you want to get more images, you need to have your camera with you. So if things like that will allow you to take it with you and make better photos because you're actually there with your camera, it's worth it. Another sacrifice you might make is choosing a manual focus lens, or you might choose a setup that's just a little bit less capable, but is in a really slim package, because that's gonna get you to the destination with your camera. So if you're trying to improve your photography, find a camera setup that you will actually take with you everywhere, because that's gonna be the biggest thing, is getting those repetitions, practicing your craft, seeing creatively, and being out there with your camera, because that's what it takes to level up your skills. Now for me, this was the perfect setup to have in the Caribbean, because it allowed us to capture things that I might normally not have shot because my camera was in my camera bag. Whereas this was on my body almost the entire trip, and I really just captured those in-between moments at the grocery store or in places where you're in transition and normally wouldn't be taking pictures because it's not the most convenient. Having something compact and practical really kind of brought some fun back into photography for me, and I really appreciated that. So if you have any trips planned, definitely find a setup that you can bring with you everywhere. And with that said, I'll link down in the description to our travel photography guide, and you can go check that out. It has a ton of wealth of information from all of the lessons we've learned over the last 15 years as professionals. So I strongly encourage you to go check that out. And thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions about this setup, or you want to share what you think is the perfect travel setup or everyday camera for you. I would love to hear it. And thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next video.